I'm currently sitting in the back of a lecture hall. The professor is talking about the fundamentals of market reach, citing a textbook from 2018. Meanwhile, I just hit a refresh on my dashboard. $23,473.32. That's what I cleared last month, and I'm 18 years old. The weirdest part isn't the money, it's the silence. I look around at people my age, frantically taking notes, worrying about a 10% grade bump, and I feel like I'm living in a different dimension. I'm not saying this to act like I'm better than anyone. I'm actually terrified of how fast the world is changing. We've entered an era where a teenager with a laptop and an understanding of human psychology can out-earn a corporate executive with 20 years of experience. And nobody in this building is talking about it. Whenever I tell someone I make money through social media, they immediately picture the same thing. Someone taking selfies at brunch or doing a dance in a public park. They think it's about fame. But let's get one thing straight. I don't want to be famous. Fame is a liability. What I want is attention. I don't see myself as a content creator. I see myself as an attention engineer. While my peers are consuming content to escape their lives, I am dissecting it. I spend hours looking at data points that most people ignore. I'm looking at retention graphs, click-through rates, and the drop-off point. Social media isn't a playground to me, it's an asset class. I treat my pages like digital real estate. If you own a building, you collect rent. If you own a page with a loyal targeted audience, you collect attention rent. That $23,000 didn't come from a viral fluke. It came from a calculated understanding of human psychology and algorithmic patterns. I stopped being a spectator a long time ago. Let's pull back the curtain a bit. People think a number like $23,000 a month comes from one big hit. They think you wake up, see a million views, and suddenly you're rich. In reality, it's about ecosystem. Last month's income was a combination of multiple streams working in perfect synchronization. It's YouTube AdSense from a library of videos I made months ago. It's affiliate commissions from products that actually solve problems for my niche. It's brand deals that I negotiated while sitting in the campus cafeteria. It's about leverage. In a traditional job, you trade 1 hour of your life for $20 or $50. That is a 1-to-1 ratio. It is a linear path, but with social media, I can produce one piece of content, one single hour of work, and the algorithm can deliver it to a million people simultaneously. My work is no longer tied to my time. That is the only way an 18-year-old can out-earn a doctor. I'm not working harder, I'm using a bigger lever. There is a dark side to this that nobody mentions in those get-rich-quick ads. It's the pace. In the digital world, the half-life of a trend is about 72 hours. If you step away for a week, you feel like you've been gone for a year. The pressure to stay relevant, to keep the machine fed, is constant. I've had nights where I'm staring at a screen until 4 a.m. because an algorithm shift happened and my views started tanking. I've had to learn how to manage a 5-figure business while my biggest official responsibility was making sure I didn't forget my student ID in my dorm room. It's a bizarre form of burnout. It's not physical exhaustion, it's mental overclocking. You are constantly processing data, constantly pivoting. You realize very quickly that the money isn't a reward for being lucky. It's a payment for the stress of navigating an environment that changes every single day. So the million-dollar question, if I'm making $23,000 a month, why am I still here? Why am I walking across this campus in the rain to attend a 9 a.m. class? It's a question I ask myself every single day. My parents want the safety of a degree. My friends are all here and I don't want to become a digital hermit who only talks to people through a Discord server. But there's a deeper conflict. I feel like I'm learning to ride a horse while I already own a jet. The safety they talk about feels like a trap. They say, what if the internet disappears? And I think, what if I waste 4 years of my prime learning how to follow orders in a system that won't exist by the time I graduate? I'm staying for the social experience, for the normalcy. But the academic side feels like a slow motion movie. I'm sitting in a marketing class where the teacher is talking about billboard strategy. I just want to stand up and say, I reached 5 million people last week for $0. Can we talk about that instead? If you're watching this and you're 17, 18, or 19 and you feel stuck in that wait for my life to start loop, you need to hear this. The barrier to entry is gone. Anyone can start, but the barrier to success is higher than it has ever been. You don't need a degree, but you do need a skill stack. For me, that stack was analytical reading, learning to look at a spreadsheet and see a story, not just numbers. Psychological hooking, understanding how to capture a human brain in the first 1.5 seconds. Ruthless consistency, posting when I had 0 views, posting when I had a fever, posting when everyone told me it was a waste of time. I failed for years before I hit this $23,000 month. I had 20 different channels that died. I spent thousands of hours editing videos that nobody watched. This isn't an overnight story. This is a story of failing in the dark until I finally learned how to turn the lights on. What happens next? Most people would take the $23,000, buy a car, and relax. But if you're an entrepreneur, you know that's the fastest way to lose everything. My goal now isn't just to maintain this income, it's to scale it. I'm looking at how AI is going to disrupt the content game. I'm looking at how I can move from being an attention engineer to an asset builder. The internet is the greatest meritocracy in human history. It doesn't care about your age, your race, or your GPA. It only cares about the value you provide to the end user. If you can solve a problem or provide a moment of entertainment better than the next person, you win. I'm finishing this semester, but my head is in the data. I'm not building a career, I'm building a life that I don't need a vacation from. I want to leave you with a question. I want you to be really honest with yourself. If you woke up tomorrow and saw $23,000 deposited into your bank account, completely independent of your boss or your school, would you still show up to your life tomorrow? Would you still attend that class? Would you still work that shift? If the answer is no, then you're currently living someone else's dream. You're playing by rules that were written for a world that doesn't exist anymore. I'm going to go back to this econ lecture now. I'm going to pretend to take notes, but my mind is already halfway across the world looking at the next trend, the next hook, and the next $20,000 month. If you want to see if I actually make it through the year, or if I finally decide to drop out and go all in, hit the subscribe button. Let's see how deep this rabbit hole goes. Catch you in the next one.